folks, our next guest is a survivor of cervical cancer. She was an entrepreneur. She was abandoned by her mom when she was 1, and the list goes on. Joining us this morning to share her story of rising above her physical and also sexual abuse, Jnesis Wright joins us live from Philadelphia. Good morning, Jnesis. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning to share your incredible story. Jnesis is your birth name, or did you change your name?
I changed my name.
I thought so, because this is kind of like a rebirth, eh?
It was. I changed my name. I started using the name Jnesis at age 17, and I changed it because my birth name was very similar to my mother's name. So my birth name is Rochelle, and when I had the opportunity to change it, I gladly did. I felt like I needed something new. So then Jnesis was born from that name change.
You left Jamaica at 13?
Yes, I did. I left Jamaica at age 13.
And 0 to 13 was a tough time for you.
Oh my God. Tough is an understatement. Tough is an understatement. It was very difficult. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize how difficult it was until recently. I started looking back.
Isn't that interesting how that works? Isn't that amazing how that works? That we sit with that trauma for years, and then in our older lives, things start to manifest. And it's not until we sit and look into it sometimes that we realize that what we're carrying is coming from childhood.
Yes, childhood trauma. It shapes us so much that if you don't take the time to sit with it, process it, feel it, go through those emotions, you'll never realize how much of your childhood is actually playing out in adulthood.
So your mom abandoned you at 1. What happened after that? You were in and out of homes? How were you raised, and with whom?
So my dad was also very young. So I believe the environment kept changing because it was unstable. I was at family members' homes, friends' home, whoever could watch me, so whoever could take me in at the time, they would take me in. So by the time I was age 13, I lived with at least 10 family members, friends, just bouncing from home to home, because sometimes they get tired of you. You're eating up the food, you start feeling insignificant, and you can't get too comfortable anywhere.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get comfortable in one house, it's time for you to leave. They shoo you out.
Transit.
So by age 13, 10 homes.
Yeah. So how did you end up in the States?
So my dad eventually got married, and my stepmom, they're still married, thankfully. My stepmom petitioned for me to come to the United States. So I came here in 2005 on my green card visa. That's how I came to the United States.
And how did your life stabilize after that? Both just general day to day, but also mentally?
Oh, it was very difficult. It was very difficult. It was such an adjustment coming from Jamaica, where my grandmother, before I even got to my grandmother, I was in an abusive home where I ran away, and I got to my grandmother with a broken arm. So my grandmother became my safe haven, a safe space for me. My grandmother did everything for me, sheltered me from everything. And then all of that changed now, because I had stability for such a long time with my grandma. And then I moved to the United States. The culture is different. My accent is too strong. My spelling is different because I'm coming from a country that uses British English.
Yeah.
American English is different for me. Kids are mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot to go through and a lot to process.
Right.
But you are the person who turns that pain into purpose, eh?
Yes.
Put it down on paper. You've sat with it and you worked through it, which I know is a very ugly, difficult, painful process.
Painful.
Yes. And
very
so
painful.
now you are repurposing that pain to help other people. Talk to me about the memoir and what you've been able to put down and what you're looking to do to repurpose and repackage this pain.
I sat with it, Simone. The reason I started writing the memoir, I said, it's no way that each time I feel like I'm doing well or I'm rising, I find myself back in a sunken place. And I decided, you know what? I'm the kind of person who suppressed my emotions because as a child, I wasn't able to express those emotions. So I said, you know what? I'm going to sit with it, process it and go through that ugly truth, relive all of the physical, emotional, inappropriate abuse that I endured as a little girl, and I'm going to feel those emotions and see if anything that occurred in my childhood is playing out in my adult life. And it was such a pain. I cried. Looking back, I could see the little girl in a room by herself, not being heard, being abused, hungry, destitute, just impoverished. And no one was there to just hold her hand and say, come, it's okay. And I was able to honor myself in that moment and realizing one of the biggest issues that I have is I leave situations before people can get tired of me.
That's right.
Friendship, relationships, anywhere that I am at, as soon as I start getting comfortable, it's like my brain triggers me to, you know what? Leave, fight or flight. It's time to go, because I don't want you to get tired of me. And I decided, write it, put it on paper, because there's so many other persons who probably have similar experiences and don't know why they are doing this. So it was very good for me to explore my childhood, my patterns, my behavior, and see how it's playing out today.
Takes great awareness and a lot of strength. So kudos to you, Jnesis, for doing that. I want you to tell us where we can get the book. But before that, to the ladies watching, the men too, Jnesis, there are a lot of men and women watching who have not been able to honor that inner child. What would you say to that little girl today, and by extension, to all those folks who are grappling with that little girl or boy that they haven't yet sat face to face with, to sit with what happened then in their lives?
I would say it might sound cliche, but put it on paper. Yeah. Even if you're not going to take it up a step and say, let me publish it so the world can see it, I think it's very good to write it down on paper, even or in your notepad on your cell phone. Write those feelings out, revisit closed chapters in your life and see, feel, because as Jamaicans, sometimes, we're tough and we don't like expressing our feelings, and we feel like we can't cry and we're supposed to be tough and militant all the time. So it's very good for you to express yourself on paper or in your notes. And trust me, it is very helpful. It gives you a sense of peace. It gives you a sense of okayness. Like, it's okay. It was not the best, but I'm here now.
Yeah, very cathartic. Where do we find your book? We have to go to news. Tell us where we find it.
So the book is still being published. It will be available on February 11, my birthday, and it will be a digital copy. So it will be on Amazon and Kindle.
And it's called, can you tell us?
It is called the BBC, and not that. It's Broken, Battered Childhood, Jamaican survival story.
Yeah, I see what you did there, girl. I see what you did there, Jnesis.
Play on words.
Yeah, man, because it could apply. Thank you so much. I'm grateful that you stopped in with us this morning. And
thank you for having me.
Just showing us that, this is a message. These are conversations I like to have, because it shows us that no matter how tough things are, if we just hold strain, things can get better. So thank you for being here with us, Jnesis, and all the best when the book is released.
Thank you.
And survivor, entrepreneur, life survivor, Jnesis Wright. Coming up next, Girl Talk, how to manage your emotions. First, though, our second edition of News in 5.